What if a coin sitting in your change jar right now carries the dream of flight itself, and collectors are quietly hunting it for reasons most people never notice? Look closer. Two sides of the same silver-colored disc. One face shows the familiar profile of George Washington. The other, a biplane frozen in midair above the outline of Ohio, an astronaut standing watch, the year 2002, and the quiet declaration, birthplace of aviation pioneers. This is not just another state quarter, this is the 2002 Ohio quarter dollar, and the story it holds is far more powerful than its 25-cent face value. In 1999, the United States Mint launched the 50-state quarters program. Every 10 weeks, a new design celebrated a different state in the order they joined the Union. Ohio became the 17th state in 1803. When its turn arrived in 2002, the design committee made a bold choice. They refused to show only one moment in time. Instead, they captured the entire arc of human flight, from the fragile wooden biplane of the Wright brothers to the suited figure of an astronaut walking into the unknown. That biplane is the 1903 Wright Flyer. That astronaut represents the men and women who carried the same Ohio spirit all the way to the moon. Neil Armstrong, John Glenn. The quiet pride of a state that refused to keep its feet on the ground. Most people glance at the reverse and move on. Collectors stop. They notice the way the airplane's wings stretch across the state outline like a promise. They notice the astronaut's stance, not triumphant, but humble, almost listening. They notice the small details the average person walks past every day, the precise angle of the flyer, the subtle texture of the spacesuit. The way birthplace of aviation pioneers curves with quiet confidence beneath the sky. And then they ask the question that changes everything. Is this coin still common? Or has time already begun to make it rare? Here's the truth that keeps coin collecting alive. Over 632 million Ohio quarters were struck in 2002. That number sounds enormous until you remember how many were spent, lost, scratched, or melted into ordinary change. The ones that survive in near-perfect condition are far fewer than most people imagine. Mint marks matter. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark. Denver coins show a small D. San Francisco produced proof versions with the S mark for collectors. Circulated examples still turn up in pocket change. High-grade uncirculated pieces, especially those graded MS-67 or higher by professional services, command real premiums. Proof versions with deep cameo contrast sit in special collections. The difference between a worn quarter and a pristine one can mean the difference between face value and a quiet, meaningful profit. But value is only half the story. The real power of this coin lives in the feeling it creates when you hold it. Imagine standing in a small Ohio workshop in 1903. The air smells of wood and machine oil. Two brothers are about to risk everything on a machine that has never successfully flown. Now fast forward 66 years. Another Ohioan is about to step onto the surface of the moon. The same restless spirit that refused to accept gravity now refuses to accept the limits of Earth itself. That entire journey fits on a coin smaller than your palm. Collectors feel this. They don't just buy metal, they buy the moment. They buy the connection to every person who ever looked up and wondered what it would feel like to leave the ground. That emotional attachment is why certain coins refuse to stay ordinary. It is why a well-preserved 2002 Ohio quarter can still make a collector pause, turn it under the light, and smile with quiet recognition. Condition is everything. A coin that spent years in circulation shows the soft blur of wear across Washington's cheek and the airplane's wings. A coin that was set aside early keeps the sharp strike, the full luster, the tiny details that make the design come alive. Professional grading services assign numbers that collectors trust, but even without a plastic slab, the difference is visible. The higher the grade, the stronger the story feels in your hand. Hidden details most people miss. Look at the way the state outline is drawn. Look at the spacing of the lettering. Look at how the astronaut stands slightly apart from the flyer, as if representing the future watching the past. These are not accidents. They were deliberate choices by the designer to make one small disc carry 2 centuries of ambition. Somewhere right now, in a forgotten drawer or an old coffee can, sits an Ohio quarter that has never been touched by rough hands. It still holds the full flash of original mint luster. It still carries the complete story. When that coin finally surfaces, someone will feel the same quiet jolt of discovery that you feel right now. Coin collecting is not only about money, it is about memory made tangible. It is about holding a piece of history that still circulates among ordinary people. The 2002 Ohio quarter reminds us that great stories do not always announce themselves with rare mint errors or impossible prices. Sometimes they hide in plain sight, waiting for someone to notice the biplane and the astronaut and realize what they truly represent. So the next time you receive change, look twice. That ordinary-looking quarter might be carrying the dream of flight from Dayton, Ohio, all the way into your hand. What would you do if you found one still shining like the day it left the mint? Would you spend it? Or would you keep the story? Drop your answer in the comments. And if this coin made you feel even a little of that old wonder, subscribe and join us for the next forgotten story waiting inside everyday change.